Hello, I'm Craig Madrinsky, a Texas State trainer. Today we're going to talk about how to fill out your council's semi-annual audit form. To do this, you're going to need some information. The first thing that you're going to need is the last semi-annual audit for your council, and then you're also going to need your outstanding balance report for your council. These two forms are critical as far as getting the audit done. You're also going to need information from your treasurer and your financial secretary to fill out various parts of the form. So let's take a look at the form now. I've already downloaded the audit form from here, and we're going to open it up. Now, if we look at the semi-annual audit, first thing we're going to do is put in the date. I've already put in the council number in the city and the state. The first section here is for the membership. Your council should be using officers online and billing online. So go ahead and check this. If you're not using member management and billing online, you're going to have to do all of these sections, and we'll cover that in another video. Down here to cash transactions, this section is where that semi-annual audit, the last one, is important, because you're going to take the money here from your last audit, the cash on hand at the period, and that's going to be your starting number. Now, in my council, it's easy. We had everything turned over to the treasurer, so it was 0. The next thing here are cash received. This also includes checks or credit cards, but this is money that came in for dues and initiation. This is the amount that the financial secretary would be compensated on if he was getting compensated. The financial secretary would have this from reports in member billing, and he should provide that to you. The next section here is cash received from other sources. Now, if your council is like mine, we have lots of different events during the year, so they don't neatly fit in here. So some of the stuff we combine together. So we've got money that came in from activities, money that came in from serving food or beverage. So we put those accumulations there, and then you add them up, and that's the total cash received. That's the total amount of money that your council received during this last 6 months. The next line here, transfer to the treasurer. Simply, these are the cash transfer reports that are done from the financial secretary to turn money over to the treasurer. The financial secretary will be able to give that to you, or you can go and add up those receipts yourself and verify that that money is there and has been turned over to the treasurer. This last line here is cash on hand at the end of the period. This is any money that the financial secretary had at the end of the period. So on December 31st or on June 30th, if somebody gave him money and he hasn't had a chance to turn it over to the treasurer yet, then that would be cash on hand. Moving over to the other side, this is the treasurer information. Likewise, if they had any cash on hand at the last period that the treasurer hadn't deposited yet, you would put that in there. Money that came in from the financial secretary, that should match the money that was transferred here. So that line and this line should match up. Next one, transfers from savings or other accounts. If your council is like mine, we have a savings account where we keep a backload of money just in case the council needs it. So that would be the any transfers that came out of those accounts. Interest earned, yeah, sometimes you actually do get some interest. So you would put that in right off the bank statements. And then here's the total receipts. So that's totaling up the lines above it. Disbursements, your supreme per capita, your state per capita, your financial secretary will have those bills, so we know what those are. General counsel expenses, pretty much that's all the expenses for your counsel, anything you've spent money on. Transfers to other accounts, so if you were paying back your savings account, that would be put in there. Miscellaneous, again, this is just another spot to put miscellaneous expenses. Total disbursements would be the total of the lines from above. Net balance on hand at the end of the period. So the net balance on hand would be the total receipts subtracted from the total disbursements. That would give you what your ending balance was. If we move down here to assets, any undeposited funds, hopefully your financial secretary and your treasurer would have gotten all those money transferred and deposited. And then these next lines are pretty simple. It's whatever the checking account balance is, your savings account balance. If you have any money market accounts, just put those balances in there. The next one here, due from members. This is where that outstanding balance report comes in. The outstanding balance report at the very end of it will tell you the total number of members and how much they owe. So in this case, we're doing this in January, so we just assessed dues. My council actually has 51 people that haven't paid, with a total of $2,005 that are owed. So you would just put that in right off from the outstanding balance report. Your total liabilities, or total assets and minus liabilities. If you had, so that would add up. So total assets would be the addition of all of this information up above, and then the total liabilities would come from this side. And then you would figure that out, and then the net assets would come here from the combination of these two numbers. If you have any short-term CDs, money market funds, miscellaneous assets, you put that in there. You total that up, your total assets. On this side, liabilities, if you haven't paid your per capita, if you had any outstanding balance for supplies, Catholic advertising, or other, that would be like an invoice that we received in January for Supreme that was actually due in December. Advance payments from members. This is an unusual thing, but we've had it happen in my council where a member paid 3 years of dues in advance. So the first year there was one member here and he had 2 years worth of dues. And then the next year it was one member and 1 year's worth of dues. And then the third year we had used up all that money. If there were any other liabilities that you have, you would put that in there. Again, total this up. You carry that total liabilities over to this side to figure out what your net assets are. You have to sign this form, so you have to sign it on the day, give it the date. You will have to save it, print it out, have the trustees and the Grand Knights sign it, and then you'll have to scan it in or use something like Microsoft Office Lens to take a picture of it and create a form PDF that you can send in. Remember, you have to send it in to the council accounts here at kfc.org, and make sure you send it to your financial or to your district deputy, and make sure that the financial secretary gets a copy of this. This report is actually done by the trustees. Now, there is going to be a longer video that talks more about how to actually do the audit, but this will get the form filled out for you. Again, at the end, you want to save it, print it, get it signed, and then get it scanned in so that you can email it out. So that's how to fill out your council audit. It's not too difficult. One of the things that trips them up every time is not getting the outstanding balance report. That's probably the most critical thing in here for getting it filled out. Make sure you keep a copy of the report because you're going to need it at the next audit. Thank you, and Viva Jesus. Good luck.